Good afternoon. So today what I wanted to do was just to talk about the structure of the epiphyllum hybrid flower. So that'll give you a good background for when you get into pollinating your own flowers to create your own hybrids. So what I'm going to do is just to open this up, and I've opened it up using a scalpel. So you can see there the different components of the flower. So what we're going to do now is just to go a little close up with it, and you'll be able to see the male parts, the female parts, and how they all work together to produce new seeds which will be enclosed in their fruit. So we'll go to that now. So what we've got here is an epiphyllum hybrid flower called 3 Oranges, which I've simply dissected down the middle. So if we have a look at the plant, we can see that we've got our petals, of course, around here. And then we've got right down through the center, we've got this long central stalk. So that is actually the female apparatus in the plant, and that's called the pistil. So the pistil is made up of 3 parts, which is the stigma, which is right here. So that's where the pollen goes. The pollen travels down through the style and then goes into this part, which is the ovary. So the ovary is made up of lots of little ovules, which once fertilized will become seeds in the fruit. And the fruit essentially forms in this part of the plant. So the ovary in its receptacle becomes the fruit of the plant, and that contains the seeds which you want to use for creating new hybrids. So that's the female apparatus in the flower. So the male part of the flower is actually called the stamen, and the stamen are these pollen-bearing stalks over here. So the stamen is made up of 2 parts, one of which is the filament, that's the long, slender stem of the stamen, and the other part is the little head, which is called the anther, and that's the pollen-bearing component of the stamen. So if the plant was self-pollinating, what would happen is the pollen from here would go into the stigma over here, which is the female receptacle, or the female receiving part of the plant, of the flower. So if it was being cross-pollinated, we'd be taking the pollen from another flower and manually putting the pollen, or it could be from bees or other insects, putting the pollen from another plant or flower into the stigma of this flower. So that gives you a good idea. The structure of the flower is over here. So we've got the pistil. This is the female part of the flower. And we've got the stamens, which are the male part of the flower. So stay tuned in the next section, and what we'll do is have a look at the fruit of the plant and what we want to do with that fruit so that we can take it towards creating our own new hybrids. Just a little point to finish off on today. What I wanted to touch on is, what do we do with flowers once they've wilted? So we've enjoyed the beauty of the flower, but now it's wilted, it looks unsightly, we're not going to use it for hybridizing. So what do we do with it? Do we just leave it there, or do we get rid of it? First thing is, if we leave it, the petals will just dry out and eventually it'll fall off. The downside of leaving it there is that if it's been pollinated, what can happen here is that ovary down there can turn into a fruit. That fruit will drain resources from the plant, which we don't want, because that will take away from potential growth. So often the best thing to do is just to I just grasp the cladode on either side of the flower, and I simply twist it off. And there we have it. So you want to cause as little damage as possible to the cladobe. Sometimes I might use a scalpel or snippers, but essentially now that goes in the bin, and the plant hopefully can get on to creating some new growth. There we are.